Hey there. Welcome back to another Tech Day. Why not? I figured we did the basketball, so now it's time to do some ice hockey.
It's the beginning of playoff season! It's always projection mapping season!
The Nashville Predators are going to take it all the way this time. Last year they were shut out in Game 7, unfortunately, and they weren't able to seal the deal on the Stanley Cup. So this year they're hoping to take it all the way. So we brought all sorts of theatrical elements, including projection mapping on the ice, as well as on a very large curtain. We're going to see how that looks. I know how it looks. They're going to see how it looks. You're going to see how it looks. They're all really pumped here in Smashville, and hockey is really big in this town. So this whole place is going to throb tonight with excitement and be really noisy, I'm sure. Switching it up. This time we're doing it on ice. And as you know, ice hockey's way bigger than basketball, so that requires more brightness, which requires more projectors. So we're actually using 4 zones in slices to make this one picture out of 8 30K projectors. And then there's also this fancy thing here, which is a scrim that encircles the whole rink but floats about 10 feet above it. And that requires another 6 rasters times 2 for brightness and redundancy. So that's another 12 projectors just for the scrim, just for this part, which is only used in the opening pre-game. I wish we could project on the ice during the game. That would be really cool to track the players while they play, but alas, the NHL ain't having none of that. Look at these huge Zamboni creations. The other night when we were dialing things in, the Zamboni guy has to come out every couple hours and apply like a new layer to keep it all nice and smooth. So he comes out and he's doing his thing. We're calibrating the screens and all that, and he just yells, "Fuck!" as loud as he can, and we're like, that's not good. And then the Zamboni stays there for a minute, and we're like, I wonder what that meant. So he pulls away, and sure enough, he had like somehow melted the spot where his Zamboni was, and it was just concrete right there. So he like pulls the Zamboni around and parks it, and like a bunch of dudes come out, I'm not kidding, with hand squirter bottles, and they just start, and then they sat there for like a minute, and after about, it was like an hour, they just watched it, sprayed it. It finally was ice again. And that is how they fix the ice when the Zamboni guy screws the pooch. Let's go look backstage. By backstage, I mean in the nosebleeds up here by the radio reporters. And that's where they keep us, in the arena. It gets very warm in this room despite all the ice down there. So that's where all the magic happens. Remember all the magic? And then we've got some routing to all the different projectors. And this is how we sync to the lighting and the sound. It's called SMPTE, and it's really old, antiquated technology, but pretty much everything uses it. So it's always easy to tie things together with good old-fashioned SMPTE. It's basically like a clock that triggers everything when you tell it to. And then here we have some confidence monitors, meaning I can tell things are good before I put them up. So if I want to look at my test patterns, I can confirm my signal is good after the computers, before the projectors. So we have input confidence and output confidence. And then we also have projector control on this computer. We have backup control on this computer. And then here is the fancy brain of it all. The good news is, just like in the basketball show, in the end, it's all controlled by this little panel right here. But wouldn't you know it, here they only allow yellow Gatorade. Behold the magical space bar. Now the true test of a good video engineer is how neat the cables are in the back. I'm kind of, I don't know what it's gonna look like back there. See, that's cool, that's what you want. You want that up there so it's not down there. What is it down here? Luckily it's too dark for you to see. Don't be a bad cable. This is what we do with bad cables. Don't be a bad cable. It's all about the big picture. What happens in this little room right next door is the magical lights.
Yeah.
And this is the man in charge of the magical lights. Woo! Strobe! That's my favorite button, the strobe button! You can never strobe enough. And this is the magical console that makes the magical lights do magic. And he's a slave to the SMPTE, just like me. Remember I was talking about that SMPTE bullshit? We are slaves to the SMPTE. The SMPTE master is this fool right here, making sure we all stay synced up. This is what we do when y'all aren't around. Woo! The DJ is killing it. Because it's the beginning of the playoffs, everybody gets one of these jizz towels. Free jizz towel. These things here are called trim tapes. And they hook them up all over here, and it's just a manual way of making sure that the truss is level, even though he has fancy computer over there which does that for him. This is like a double, triple check. So right now they're zeroing out and they're homing this system so that when they get it perfectly level, they can push the save button and it will accurately go to that spot when he recalls the preset. That way, when I turn my projectors on, there's a screen that's where it belongs. Because if we do all this geometry correction and the screen doesn't land where it needs to be, then it doesn't work. This man has a very important job. All the motors that hold the thousands of pounds that is this large screen, it all comes down to this computer right here. So getting all, how many motors is it up there?
20.
20 motors to be in synchronization, perfectly level, and hit the same point every time as it moves up and down for rehearsals, for the show, for different games. Precision. Watch your head. It's a maze up here. Yeah, I want to say this trim is probably about the same as the last one, the basketball video, which I'll put a link right here. So it's probably about the same trim height, probably about 80 feet up to the grid, which is pretty good considering that was a college arena and this is a NHL hockey arena, which seats way more people, but it's about the same height. Plus or minus 20 feet. So here's some of the ice projectors right here. And they're color coded, so you can yell, look at the yellow one! No wait, blue one! Plug in the yellow one, no wait, the blue one!
Yeah, the blue one.
Oh, look at this, this is cool. This is the winch that pulls up and lowers the scoreboard below us so they can lower it all the way to the ground to service it or bring it up out of the way for a concert. Don't put your finger in there. Oh look, it's green and red. Plug in the green one. No, wait, the red one. Did you guys get all the way out there and did you put all that stuff up there in the ceiling? Wow. Naked?
Rig us.
The Rigas did it.
Rigas be crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. You couldn't pay me enough to do that. No way. There's no way. There's no amount of money in the world I would take to go out on that.
You wouldn't do it for a cool meal?
For a cool meal? Harnesston? I don't think so. No.
Harnesston?
Harnesston? Well, it depends. Is there a pillow, like, you know, those big fireman
you gotta
pillows?
do the straight up one that grabs you right by the nuts and you hang there.
I would probably want to be harnessed and have some sort of like fireman's pillow down there so I could just fall on my ass. I want a blob. Yeah.
And somebody has to be on the blob.
Somebody has to be attached. One of you assholes has to be on the blob, so when I hit it, you fly up into the air.
Crack egg.
So that's the spotlight guy. He gets to sit there all the time, and his best friend is his Gatorade bottle, of which he can drink the Gatorade to be hydrated, and then pee in it afterward to be satisfied completely.
During the game, best spot to watch the game right here.
This is a great seat.
Dude, it's fucking great.
It's an unobstructed view.
And it's aerial of the ice. You can see the puck.
Yeah, this is better than TV.
It's the fart walk. This is where all the farts come up to die. Everyone that farts in this arena comes up to here.
Fart walk.
The old fart walk.
We call it the fart walk.
What's this red switch do?
Don't touch the red switch.
Are open and the arena is slowly filling up with yellow people. Believe it or not, they're not just here to see me projection map on the ice. There's actually hockey going on too. So now that my part's over, let's watch some hockey. Predators win 5-2.